Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Ascension Diaries YouTube channel. My name is Alexis, and I'm here for hashtag Schumann Resonance. I'm always reporting on the Schumann resonances as well as astrology and solar anomalies that are going on that are affecting the geomagnetic field of our planet and basically all of the atoms in our body as well. So I believe that this information is really important to continue to talk about. In my opinion, it should be on weather channels and on more of a public platform. But thankfully, there's a lot of very diligent people on YouTube and on the internet who are reporting on this. But I like to take my own swing at it in a way and add a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of maybe a more divine feminine approach to this information, as I have recognized most of the people who do cover this are working on more of embodying the divine masculine side of things. And so I like to add tarot readings in with the dates and with the energies that we're seeing coming in on the charts like this, even though part of my shirt is turning purple because it's also green. I have a green screen up right now. Anyways, so we're going to see there has been some energy coming in. There's been 2 blasts over the Easter weekend that I'm going to show you. I will then, it's 3:33 p.m. April 13th right now, PST. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you that stuff, showing you what the sun's been up to, what's been going on in the news. And yeah, so let's start with the card reading for the energies of right now, this 33313 portal. We're getting lots of threes right now. So let's open it up. I'm going to use cards that I don't generally use. If you guys were on my live stream I did a few days ago on the 11th, you would have seen me using the Gilded Tarot deck. This one. And I also used this one, which is the Lightworker Oracle deck. And this is what it looks like. And it was just a special treat for a friend of mine who's also a patron of mine. So if you want to be joining in the Patreon videos every month where I do the readings, so everyone who signs up to me on Patreon, which is right here, the link will be below, and in the $20 pledge area, I will do a reading for them every month. But if you want to pledge whatever and just tell me you want to be a part of the group, just do it, because I really don't mind. It's not a big deal. I love doing them. So let's do a reading for all of us right now. You don't have to pay anything. I just want to give this information and just make a more well-rounded report, really. So let's see what we get. Dear Source, what are the energies that the mind-body-spirit complexes who are watching this and are aware of what's going on in the world, what is it that we are being prepared for? What is it that we need to know? What is it that we're growing into? What is it that is the major theme of the energies that has come in the last couple days, this Easter weekend? What is it that we've received? There we go. Ha ha ha! We have the card of spiritual service. Excellent card. Really great reminder that many of us are spiritually in touch beings. And not every single person who incarnates all the time is that spiritually in touch. We all are spiritual. We all have a spirit, but some people really practice in cultivating that spirit. And this card is, in my opinion, it's a great card. Look at this. Person's holding the earth in their hands, and there's an angelic presence sort of forming around it, and there's a lot of light coming down through the crown of this person. So this person, imagine you are this person, really. This is sort of the vibe that we're getting at right now. You are holding the earth in your hands, you are guardianing over the earth, and you are giving a spiritual service to humanity. So just helping people, remind them of their, you're not just a mind and a body, you're also a spirit, and your spirit needs cultivation, it needs support, it needs community in a way. So if there is certain things that you do that make you feel more spiritual, I would encourage you to continue doing that. You might be even reaching another level of that maturity, and you're going to be supporting more people possibly by your example. You may not even know that people are watching you. Like, I don't know who's really watching me right now. I don't know who's sitting here looking at me right now, but I am giving a spiritual sort of perspective and service to humanity, and hopes that you watching this are going to also blossom into an even more wonderful, confident version of yourself. Loving, generous, humble, that's the kind of thing that I try to embody. And I mean, not try, I do embody it. And I like to share that with other people. And I appreciate those who recognize that within me and who relate to me on that level, because we all have that in common. So, spiritual service, that's what we were working on this weekend. So I hope you are engaging spiritually, even though most of, worship locations and old practices of gathering and so on for this particular religious event, in a way, wasn't the same. So you got an opportunity then to advance yourself spiritually by being a little bit more creative. So that's really cool. So let's get onward with some of the data now. So I'm going to move from spiritual to more database stuff. First of all, I want to show you a trick. I just uploaded this video, by the way, on YouTube. It was a little vlog from yesterday, Easter Sunday, where we went out and we did some crystal hunting, and we found a bunch of iron that had oxidized copper on top of it, which is like a green, blue, teal color, and it's fantastic. It's beautiful. You don't expect to see it there amongst all the other rocks, but then it's just like, pow. So Jason and I are going to do a podcast about it and show you. He's going to do, I think, a whole other video because he really is excited about what he found. And anyways, I wanted to show you that you can click the settings button right here and go to playback speed, and you can change it to double the speed, or like 1.5 times. So you don't have to listen to me go at the slower rate that I do end up going at, or anyone else that you like to watch on YouTube that maybe drones on a little bit. That's an excellent tool, and you'll be able to ingest way more data and much less time and energy to do so. So that's my recommendation. Thank you again for all of you who support me on Patreon. If you're interested in getting a card reading every month, I just did the live stream where I do everyone's reading who supports me here. And then anyone else who supports me on any other tier at any other level, they also can opt into the reading if you message me personally after pledging. That's all. I just want to be of service. Again, spiritual service. Please go to our website, divinesovereignbeings.com. Sign up on our email list, and you'll know when we're getting our next podcast out. You will be emailed it personally. And then you can also check out our wares. I also have the podcast embedded here on the site. I have my services here if you'd like to do a reading one-on-one together, either over email or a phone call. And then we have our adoption center for the crystals that we have been finding. Our newest ones aren't up here yet, but we have the Sedona fulgurite, which is formed by the lightning hitting the sand, which is very appropriate for us studying lightning and Schumann resonance. So somebody adopted 2 pieces yesterday, and I'm so excited to send them over there. They're getting spread around the earth. I'm taking more of a passive, guardian role over these beings in a way, and then allowing this portal for people to be called to them and offering them safe travel and passage to those people in those places in order to grid and be their own divine sovereign being in a way. It's been an interesting, I wouldn't say experiment, but an interesting approach to it, and I'm really having fun with it. So if you want to adopt one of these pieces, that option's also available, as well as shirts, just in case. We have handmade shirts and fun stuff like that. If you are following me on Instagram, please do. I, again, post my videos on there. I post updates, more smaller updates that don't make it to the videos, as well as my Facebook page. So you can choose either one if you like either or. So let's get into the astrology first. Like I said, today is the 13th. The 13th, the moon is in Capricorn, which makes us we're a little bit more cautious and drawn to using common sense and not as flexible today, or you're a little more single-minded and determined and thorough. You're looking more at your careers and your long-term plans and objectives. It's a very practical day for the moon energy anyways. And then Sun and Pluto are heading towards a square aspect exact tomorrow morning. So there can be some tension brewing. So I've been feeling a little tense the last couple days. This might be what's going on. Again, the Sun and the Pluto are very far apart. So when their energy is kind of locking in and we're getting involved planetarily, it can cause a little bit of tension in our bodies. And so, we're making choices. We're thinking about long-term plans. That's sort of the vibe that we're in right now astrologically. And then, as you can see here, we have some Schumann resonance to talk about. Today, throughout the day, extremely quiet. Like since this morning, let's be honest, we woke up at around 6, which is when this blast basically ended, and then all we see is this background buzzing horizontally of around the average. Like this is what we're supposed to really be seeing all the time, is most of this being quiet in my opinion, and just a little bit of a buzz here, because this is the natural frequency, the primary frequency of our planet electromagnetically. Anyways, we are at 7.83 average, so you can see here this says 8. It's just slightly below 8. But this is stretching from around 0, sometimes all the way down to 40 hertz. This is hertz in Russian. If you're new here, I just keep re-explaining myself. Thank you for all your patience, for those of you who've heard me say this a million times. But yeah, we're looking at 2 very different looking blasts, but they occurred over the last 2 days, basically all of Easter weekend. We received these 2 pulses of data, basically. These frequencies, they have a purpose, they have reason. They could be artificial, man-made, they could be they could be directly cosmic radiation from space coming in, and it could be a whole bunch of other things, really. Anything that could create something this big, though, would probably have to be pretty powerful. Also, this chart is measured over Russia, and I have reason to believe that these readings are likely more concentrated from Russia, so on the opposite side of the planet, we can still be affected by this. But Russia most so, in my opinion, at least based off of the research I've done. This is just a really good reference, because we're still able to feel it. The ionosphere is like a liquid of plasma, and it just kind of transfers. It transfers the tension across the whole membrane. So let's talk about it. So what happened last night? So we're waking up today. We're out throughout the day, the 13th. We're chilling around 6 a.m. and back to about 11 p.m. the day before, the 12th, Easter Sunday. We received this last blast, and also we see some white horizontally here, right around the 12 hertz area as well, and a little ball, almost like ball lightning right here. It almost looks like a cyclops with a smile. Very scientific. But yeah, we're seeing all of a very sudden onset of energy coming in. It's reaching all the way down to the bottom, not as drastically as I've seen. Like I have an example here. You don't even know when this is over. You can't tell how high it actually got, other than 40 hertz. So again, we're here at 40 hertz, but it wasn't as strong as what we've seen, but it's definitely a note. So basically, all that night we were getting buzzed. This means your brain waves were likely capable of being more active when you were sleeping. So you likely had more dreams going on the last couple days, in my opinion. That's usually a major signifier for me that people are getting more dreams, is when these kind of blasts happen throughout the night, or people can't dream or can't sleep at all, and they're kind of up all night thinking. Again, your brain is being activated whether you're sleeping or not. And unfortunately, the brain waves that would have been activated would have been more in the delta, beta, alpha wave, not as much like the gamma or the high level of brainwave functioning as much, I would say, except for maybe some people who are able to catch this wave down here, even though it was very brief. So likely we were you're up at night, you're thinking, you may have been anxious. And again, night before. So let's see, this was around 11 p.m. We go to the next day, this is around 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right when this one weird blast happened again. So we're seeing some interesting behavior on the charts. I just wanted to show you that throughout the weekend, we were blasted both days, and it reached an amplitude both days underneath a 70. But last night it hit a 68 around 2 a.m. And again, we reached around a 54 later in the morning, like 6 or 7 in the morning. So not too crazy, pretty even along all the frequencies, the activity. And then let's look at the actual frequencies. It seems like when these blasts are coming in, the frequencies are actually dropping. Instead of hanging out at 7.83 average, they're going down to 7.2 2, which I haven't really seen before. I haven't seen it consistently every time a blast comes in, that there's this swoop that is actually lowering the frequency, the primary frequency of the ionosphere. Just slightly, but you'd actually have to change the cavity shape of our magnetosphere to get the sine wave of this frequency to change height, or change height and change speed. So it'd be a lot more. It's like you can see these little squishes that can happen, but it doesn't get that intensely different. You're always measuring around a 7 or an 8. That's what the machine does. So again, both times there's some dips going on. I'm just observing it. I don't have an exact idea of what that means. The quality, both those times actually did rise. The quality of the 4th frequency here, which hangs out around 26, as you can see down here, hangs out around a 26. Oh, you can't see that because it's off screen. There you go. Does that help at all? There you go. Can kind of see it. So don't know what's going on here still. The quality is doing this crazy jumping thing, and I don't understand it. It's like that particular frequency is like getting charged like really rapidly. So this might be picking up some type of communication that's happening using the ionosphere. The ionosphere is constantly being tickled by the satellite communication from the ground between satellites. I'm not an expert in these things at all. I'm really not. I don't have an education in that, how satellites really work, or even really electromagnetic frequencies. I'm more on the brainwave level and a psychology background. So I'm like, I can only guess based off of like years of looking at this. So it could be some type of weird communication, some Earth-based or between satellite thing going on, which would be very interesting. And also, I'm not loving seeing that bouncing around on the chart all the time, because again, our brainwaves hook up to that system, those frequencies. So if there's artificial things being jolted in there, then we're not having a natural brainwave connection to our planet, in my opinion. So that's why I watch this, because I want that to become a more organic place. And the more people who are aware of it, hopefully, that's the theory, the more people who are aware of it, the quicker this will be resolved and we can have our brainwave sovereignty back, in a way. As serious as that can get. There's another website called heartmath.org who measures around the world, not just Russia, like California, Saudi Arabia, Lithuania, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa. We have been having really low readings, and South Africa has totally dropped off the map. And that's the funnest one to watch because they have the biggest peaks. But over the Easter weekend, we did not get to see what was going on. So that's unfortunate. As well as Saudi Arabia, they like to turn theirs off very quickly. I doubt that we ever get any real, true, good, significant readings from there, because I think they just turn it off and turn it back on again when it's not as bad, just to just to basically control the media in a way. So control the information, which we don't like here at this channel in this reality. So I can't show you what's been going on during those other blasts. Thankfully, Russia was able to share. They're not as scared to share, apparently. We're not trying to make fear-based decisions here. Everybody in this Schumann resonance scientific community, let's not be afraid. Let's just do the right thing. Let's do the right thing. So again, Italy today also had some activity. This one specifically is in Italy. A little bit over the 12th as well. 12th and the 11th. 12th for sure. 11th not nearly as much, but that stuff in Russia was also measured in Italy, so you can see how far away it can go, and there's still readings on the charts and so on. So let's talk about the solar wind, because everybody was talking about the solar wind. There was a huge anomaly a few days ago where the solar wind made this chart, I'll show you preemptively, go completely whack. Like, the lines you can see are pushing all behind for the most part. The planet, they were all over the place, in front, behind. We were seeing a lot of greens and blues. It was all over the place. And I posted that on my Instagram and Facebook. Lots of people shared it with me. And a bunch of other channels who do this work were also reporting on it, because some of them somehow can do videos almost every single day. I don't know how that they do it, but maybe that's just the divine masculine side of things, or maybe a toxic masculine side of things. I'm just like, I feel too much. I need to ride the waves and then come and talk to you guys about it. And it's hard to do it mid-wave because I'm also like feeling it and going through it, which is why I report this, because so many people are sensitive, but they don't ever have that resource to understand why they're having so much sensitivity, and they can't explain it. Well, this evidence has helped me explain it to so many people, and they've been able to grapple and take more of a not control, but more of confidence over their life and their situation, and be more forgiving with themselves. So during that event, a lot of people were reporting a lot of strange anomalies, but we are so powerful. Like, our Earth is so protected that we saw all of these wacky lines. The solar wind got up to like 1,500. I don't even know what this measures it in. I'm assuming kilometers per second, which is many millions of miles per hour. Very big. So right now we're seeing a 660, which is 200 over average, 260 over average, which is 400. So that's what this site is reporting. We have this site reporting only a 376, so that's way less and below average. So there's a bit of a discrepancy with the data, which is what I was seeing during that anomaly as well. The sun currently is very quiet for the most part. It's normal to have coronal holes on the bottom and the top. Let's look here. Yeah, so I'm not seeing too much going on the sun, so we shouldn't be expecting anything, any crazy solar wind or activity to be coming in. So here again, this is not the same data as I'm seeing on the other site, unfortunately. This is saying again the solar wind is hanging around average over the last couple of days, which in my opinion is not true. So the data doesn't match on these other resources. So unfortunately for us, we don't really know what's going on, but who's to say that anything I'm showing you is really the truth, honestly, because it all goes through many sources before it gets publicly posted for national security and so on. I don't like it. All right, let's look at the sun and see if it's spewing off anything fun for us today. I'm seeing nothing. We're seeing this bright spot. Looks like it's getting brighter and brighter. This might be an ejection that could happen in the next 24 hours, which is just more beautiful plasma and energy birthing out of the sun for all of us to use to grow new cells and grow the leaves on the trees and so on. It's a very beautiful process. So what else do we want to look at? Let's look at what the impact of this energy is right now, according to the geospace magnetosphere cut planes. All right. Wow. All right. So you saw something hit us there, but we're fine. Everything's good. Let's see what kind of pressure levels we're seeing. A little bit of decent pressure. You can see that energy is literally hitting us and it's rippling out at those points, but so far so good. Pretty normal looking. So we're back to this chart. The magnetic lines are kind of rolling around behind, but overall this is still pretty normal looking. And we're seeing a max wind speed of a 660 hitting our planet. So that's quite a bit of a difference from the other data, so just keep that in mind. This information and the other data I'm looking at, they aren't correlating, so don't hold it as like firmly as truth as I've seen some people do, but it's a learning process. We get excited, it's okay to get excited, but after a few years of doing these videos, it's like I've seen a lot of wild stuff, and people's grandmas and pets and stuff are affected by it totally unconsciously. They don't know why they're having a weird day or whatever, but I'll have piles of data about it, and so someone else, you can take it and you can tell your grandma about it. But right now, maybe your grandma was feeling weird over the weekend, she didn't know why, or your cat. That could have been the Schumann resonance. Let's look at the lightning and the weather really fast around the world. So now I'm going to go more to like the geocentric. We're going to look at more earthquakes and volcanoes and weather right now. So this is in more a physical way that the energy manifests, because you don't see the electromagnetics as much, but you can see weather, which is a result of that a lot of the time. So we're seeing a lot of lightning coming off over by Florida, and we're seeing a lot of lightning off the southern side of Australia. Two very active places I've noticed for lightning commonly. Also, there's storms over Arizona where I'm at right now, and those have been, this looks more intense, and they're not currently striking right now, or you'd be seeing this red dot. So we're getting lots of strikes going on right over here over Florida. So shout out to you guys. Stay safe out there. And we have a bunch of earthquakes going on as usual. Most of them are along the fault lines. We've been getting a lot of random ones away from the fault lines, but so far it looks like pretty decently close to the fault lines, all of these earthquakes. But we're seeing a lot on the west coast of North and South America here. So that fault line is moving around. I'm seeing earthquakes over in Thailand and over in the Philippines right now, seeing some bizarre seismic activity. And we had a really gigantic volcano blow up over here, over by Papua New Guinea. It happened around this time last year. These volcanoes were going off. But we are seeing a heightened level of volcanic activity over here in these faults. But nothing too unusual, in my opinion. So we are also seeing in my opinion, we are seeing unusual storms in this area of the world, this, I guess, latitude over here. So I was seeing a really nasty cyclone over here, and it seems like it's honestly just moved across the ocean, and there's multiple little very concentrated, very dense storms going on in this area. I'm seeing major disturbance in this area, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there, but just a heads up for you, the planet is having some very bizarre activity going on over here. And in my opinion, it could be something to do with the like secret war that's going on. Like the coronavirus is like a major cover for a huge war in a way that's happening, and now it's getting really serious. And weather modification technology has been a major issue, especially in the United States, the last decade. And so it's very possible that these storms are being created over small private islands to maybe protect them or to make operations more difficult. But islands all throughout these areas, rich people buy islands and rich people do naughty things. And it seems like that is all getting really, really sorted out right now. So that's my opinion anyways. So this is a possibility. It's just what came to mind. So let's look at what's going on in the news for today, April 13th. Most of it's coronavirus related. People in different countries who are getting their extended lockdowns and so on. So we're still in it. We're still in lockdown mode. The world, I would say the geopolitical climate right now is still wanting the populace to be in their homes to continue operating on whatever they're actually doing, in my opinion. Again, like here's an example. The World Health Organization is saying that this is 10 times deadlier than the swine flu, and just continuing to spew fear about this illness so people will be convinced that they're for their best interest to stay inside, which in my opinion isn't true. And I just intuitively feel it. I'm here to share you my intuitions, my divine feminine, spiritual self, and I'm getting like major signals that this isn't the true narrative. And we don't need a World Health Organization, by the way, in my opinion as well. Each of us can actually consciously make ourselves healthy or sick. And if we were all educated on that and reminded and practice that in the world, we wouldn't need a World Health Organization, because everyone in their respective communities will, remind each other that you can consciously control your health and also do it through what you're ingesting into your system, which mind, body, and spirit. all the things you're ingesting into your system can make you sick, can throw you out of balance, can mess up with your field. And we're moving towards a time and a space where people are more conscious of that. And we aren't going to be needing these giant governing bodies who are going to be protecting us from viruses that are made in labs and so on. So we're going to get rid of those labs. We're not going to be making any more viruses and hurting other people deliberately and trying to control population as if we're cattle. The universe does that actually for us. You don't have to, there's no human intervention really needed, in my opinion. But that's the news. And so what's the space news? I don't know why. I just felt like Googling it, and my favorite character in the last couple of years, Oumuamua, is front and center in the news. It was just posted an hour ago in Disclosure magazine. They've been trying to figure out what Oumuamua really is. And now they're saying that this cigar-shaped interstellar visitor, which is very fun. Cigar-shaped is a term that I think the Navy likes to use a lot, and the Air Force when they're talking about unidentified craft as well. Let's just get a giant ad. Thank you. No, thank you. So this giant alien space rock, Oumuamua, is still sparking debates 2 years after its discovery, which it was so exciting when I heard that they were going to talk about this. I was like, great, this is a great start. So they're thinking that this is now like a piece that is like a chunk of something that's come from another place. And it's just floating through. It had just floated right through our solar system. So there's just more debate about it, and just saying that it could just be like literally just a chunk or an asteroid or a comet that's popped off of something else. But you can read this article if you want. It's pretty long, but it's good that they're still talking about this, because I think this is some type of very intense key towards the disclosure of alien life and alien places. But they're dancing around it way too much. I'm so tired of the alien agenda like not finally being publicly talked about. It's going to change though, and that's why we're here. Well, many of us want to know or want to speak more openly, I guess, about this topic and have it more of a public knowledge and have all the secrets and things revealed, which is why full disclosure is such a common hashtag amongst the disclosure community, because we want everything to be disclosed and available, the truths, instead of these weird dancing around the topic articles that we've been seeing for years. I'm sure there's going to be a turning point for that, and I'm super excited for that because I'm pretty sure I'm going to live to see it. I'm pretty young, so I think that's why I was born, honestly, is to be a part of that. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. We're 33 minutes in, so that goes perfectly well with the theme of today's video, which is a lot of threes. And I will be recording a podcast with Jace next, so we will be seeing you all again very soon. I love you very, very much. Thank you again for all of your support. Thank you for helping us out. If you feel so obliged and feel generous, we would really appreciate your donations, and so we can continue doing what we do. We want to get a few more things, a few more pieces of equipment to up our game even more and be able to broadcast and do more work with this realm and keep up with the exposure of all this stuff. So really helpful for you to give us some support financially. I'm going to be honest, it's really nice to have that help. We literally live off of it. So this is our job. And I'm glad to do it. I'm happy that I made my own work, and I'm encouraging other people to do the same. So if you ever need anything, reach out. You can email me. You can message me over social media. I talk to every single person who messages me, not kidding. So I'm here. I'm always here. I'm here to help. I'm here to give you love and hug you and encourage you to be awesome. And I will be seeing you all again very soon. Goodbye, everybody.